Weddings-ish, 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 with Jove.
This episode is presented by Friar Tucks. For over 50 years, they've been styling life's biggest moments, from weddings to proms and more. Whether you're looking to buy or rent, Friar Tucks has the perfect suit or tuxedo for your event. Visit friartux.com to get started. Weddings-ish is presented by Lovebird, a better way for engaged couples to communicate with their wedding guests. Make an exquisite first impression and manage every touch point in one place. Share your proposal story on Lovebird for a chance to win a free honeymoon. Learn more at lovebird.com/weddingsish.
Well, hello, and thank you so much for tuning in to Weddings-ish with Jove, a podcast all about love, joy, and weddings-ish with a special guest. And this episode, I couldn't be more excited to be joined in studio with not one, but two very special guests, Newlyweds and co-founders of the Brownstone Boys, Barry and Jordan. I'm so happy you're here.
Hey, Jove. Thanks for having us.
So yes, of course. So I've known you for many, many years.
Seems like forever.
I was trying to think of when we first met, but maybe you have a better memory than... Where were you working?
I was working at Baked Bakery.
Yeah, so that was the start of your... I guess, into the wedding industry.
Kind of my start into the wedding industry. I got my first take. I made wedding cakes for the bakery. And I believe I met you. You were working with clients at the time. And I was doing a wedding consultation with them.
And we came in for a tasting?
Came in for a tasting.
At the Red Hook location?
The Red Hook location. It was the only location at the time. And I just fell in love with you. And you were amazing. And your energy was just so special.
And likewise.
And I followed that wedding all the way. I remember from start to finish.
Oh my gosh.
And your work was just unbelievable.
Oh my God. This is not a podcast about me, but thank you so much. I'll take it.
It really was kind of my first take on the weddings because I was new in the career. I had been doing production and managing the bakery.
Yep.
But weddings was really special.
Yeah, and a new thing for you.
Yeah, it was a new thing for me.
And then from Baked, you went to Amble Hill?
Yes.
Was that the second
you did
job?
Research. I'm impressed.
No, that's memory. I did not stalk you.
A second bakery, and when they opened up the second bakery, I kind of took on a passion project of designing the kitchen within their second bakery with their architects, and they were asking me the founders of Baked were asking me for advice on how the kitchen functions. And I became so passionate about it that after that, opened up the second bakery. They referred me to Ample Hills Creamery.
Oh, wow. To do the same thing.
To do kind of a similar thing. Also on the marketing side.
Yeah.
So I was kind of wearing multiple hats.
Yeah, as we do in New York City.
As we do. And I joined Ample Hills when they were at 3 ice cream shops. And I was with them when they expanded into 16 ice cream shops.
Before Disney acquired them?
It was during
the acquisition.
Yeah. So I learned a lot really fast.
And was that kitchen remodeling like your first foray into interior design into that realm?
It was.
Not knowing what was coming in your future.
And it was more of us like talking with the day-to-day staff and how everything functions.
Functionality in the space.
We all want beautiful spaces.
Yeah.
It's also imperative that spaces function.
Yeah.
And I became obsessed with that. So I'm really thankful for them and thankful for Ample Hills.
Yeah.
And after the 16th shop at Ample Hills, that's when Barry and I met each other.
Okay, so that went over, and then you all met on Grindr, I hear.
We did.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw in your video, you showed the photo, so I was like, well, I know that app.
We love bringing it up.
Who said hello first?
I said, hey, what's up?
And
Barry.
that picture,
hey, what's up with a picture of him? Yeah.
Why were you private?
We were both private.
Wait, okay. Why were you private?
Full disclosure, I had just got divorced.
Okay.
And it was...
I didn't know you were married.
I was married.
Okay.
I rushed into a marriage. It ended 3 months into our marriage.
Wow.
I still share my dog with my ex-husband. Okay. So Zuko now has 4 dads.
Oh my God.
My partner also has another
remarried.
partner. Yeah.
Are you cordial?
We are.
Okay.
We're Barry's friends with him.
Oh, yeah.
We do
Yesterday.
drop-off duties together.
Okay, so quick in, quick out, but still friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had a lot of battled in my own mind. And for me, I just wanted to still be private.
Okay.
So that's why I had no picture.
But you did the right thing. If you have no photo on a dating app or whatever, then you have to send in the first message a photo.
Yeah.
And it was a cute photo. You were at the World Trade Center, but the big shopping, the Oculus. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so what about you? Why were you privé?
I wasn't fully out. So I was out to close friends. I wasn't really out to my family at the time. My family are all very religious and conservative. So it came up with them later. But
Sure.
at the time, I was just being a little more DL about everything.
You were like tiptoeing.
Exactly.
Had you dated men?
Yeah.
Yeah, but in this method, like the DL kind of dating.
Yeah.
So what about his blank profile made you want to DM
that's a good
him?
question.
Well, he was very close, and I was like, you know what? Let's.
I think he was like 3,000 feet. I think I looked.
Maybe even less.
Yeah.
No, but I just messaged a picture and like seeing what's happening. He sent back a picture and he was very cute. That's a lie. You weren't a blank photo. You had a picture, which might even be worse.
Oh,
it was a torso picture.
Oh, yeah.
But like I could see his
true.
mouth down to his chest.
You saw the
and I was like,
jawline.
that looks good. Let me see what's up. So yeah, I literally sent a picture saying, "Hey, what's up?" And he wrote back with my face. Yeah.
And that was in 2016.
16.
And then did that progress slowly, quickly, all fun? Like when did it move from fun to romance?
It progressed really quickly. Like we actually chatted on Grindr for a week and a half or so before we met up in person.
That's a lot of back and forth.
Which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's
But
more
we
like
were-
Hinge at that point or Tinder.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, yeah. I mean, we were just talking about what we were up to and our jobs and lives and travel and whatever. And we finally decided to meet up after a week and a half. But then we were chatting nonstop.
Okay.
It was a very...
Like throughout the day, checking in. What are you doing?
Absolutely. Yeah, it wasn't
that's
like
the
an
exciting
It was really
part of dating.
Yeah. But then I got really nervous because we had been chatting for 2 weeks, and then finally, when it comes to us setting a date,
What if it's bad?
What if it's bad?
Yeah.
What if he's not the way I had
Yes.
built him up in my head?
Yeah.
So we set up a date at a local bar.
Okay.
Kept it close to home.
In Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, at the Crown Inn on Franklin Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
And I just
Are you in
remember
Crown Heights, Bed-Stuy?
I was in Prospect Heights.
Okay.
And I was in Bed-Stuy.
Okay,
so it's
got
kind
it.
of in between.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. And I just remember being so nervous.
You got there first?
I got there first.
Okay, early, on time, or late?
Early.
He's
Okay.
always early.
That's why I asked, but I wanted you to say it. And you got
Being
there
early.
on time or a
I
little
was probably
late?
on time.
Yeah, you
I
were on
think I was
time.
Okay.
And I remember I was in the backyard. He walked in, and I just thought he was so cute.
Aw.
And I got so many butterflies.
Oh.
And I think that's what kind of started everything.
Okay.
Even though he did ghost me after the second date.
Wait, what? So you had a great first date. Did you go home with each other?
We didn't. We kissed. We had a kiss that
Such
night.
gentlemen.
But didn't go home.
Okay.
And we met up another time after that, just a few days later.
Were you also equally smitten?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we were both we talked like
giddy.
I think we almost, if not closed the bar, we almost closed the bar, whatever time that was.
So it was
and
a great first date.
It was late, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a really, really great first date. We talked a ton all night, very easily.
Yeah.
And we kissed. And it was also really late by that time, too. And I think it was during the week.
Yeah.
It was like a Thursday night.
Yeah, so you both had work.
We're like, we got to get time to go.
Yeah.
So then we met up, I think, over the weekend or something, like a few days later. And we just met. I think I went to your house, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
we
a
ordered
home
food
date.
and watched TV. Had a home date.
More than a kiss.
And
More than a kiss.
Okay,
More than a
great.
kiss.
Check.
And-
And then you ghosted.
And then I didn't ghost,
He
but I
ghosted.
think I was like,
He ghosted.
Need a little,
He ghosted.
need a minute. Need
Was
a
it
week.
moving too fast? I don't want to put words in your mouth,
Yeah.
but why would you? I mean, like if I invited you to my home and I made a cheese board and I made it cute, I'm sure it was,
Yes.
you did all the things.
I did all the things.
I have no doubt.
I did all the
and
things.
then we had a great night, and then there was a home run, and then you didn't write me back. I would be broken.
I was heartbroken.
He took it really well, though. Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't think I just ghosted. Like, I think I was like, I think I said something to the effect of, I just need a minute. I need some time or something like that.
Well, that's reasonable. At least you were honest about that. It wasn't like
and it
silence.
was only like 4 days.
Okay.
Like, we're not talking a couple
And there
of
was
weeks
something
here.
I knew
It
that
was
he
less
was
than
going
a
to reach
week.
back out. Like
You had like a
I
feeling.
had that gut feeling that was like, okay,
Okay.
I'm really upset about this, but I know that he'll be back.
Yeah.
So, and he did.
And you
he
did.
reached
You
back
circled
out.
back.
He texted me back.
Okay.
He was like, I'm sorry. I just needed some time, but can we go out again? And
Perfect.
that's when we became inseparable, I think, after that third
On your
date.
third date.
Yeah.
And did you just know something in you was like, this might be real, so I need to like...
I think so. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I think
because if you
that's-
were like DL and dating and have a conservative, it's like all that is wrapped up in your
Right.
brain, and you're like, oh shit, this is like not just a thing. It's
And
like,
it
could
was
be...
it was really intense. Like, we were talking like a lot, and it was kind of like when you meet someone you really, really like,
Yeah.
and you are just like completely enamored
Yep.
with them, and that's all you do for weeks on a time.
Yeah.
So, it just was all a lot. But it was just a few days. And it's funny to talk about because it seems like, I ghosted him for a week. But I
love
like
the drama.
3 days.
What I would do for the ghosting right now.
Oh
no, I'm joking.
And were you in interior design or construction or contracting at that point or no?
I wasn't. So backing up a little bit, all through high school wanted to go to architecture school.
Okay.
Knew I was going to be an architect. Never doubted it for a second.
Yep.
That was the path I was on. And I did go to architecture school. Went to LSU for architecture and was in the architecture program for 2 years and dropped out because
it's a 4-year program?
It's a 5-year program.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I dropped out.
Okay.
Moved over to the College of Business, got a business degree.
Okay.
Fastest path out, basically.
Yep.
And I went to software sales, right?
Oh,
I went
so
to
literally
advertising sales, then software sales.
Not anything to do with what you both currently do now.
Nothing to do with it.
I love that.
I always had a passion for architecture and design.
Okay.
And as soon as I was able to save a little bit up after school, I bought my first apartment.
Okay.
And I renovated it and I sold it. And I lived in it for a couple of years, sold it. Then I got another place that needed more renovations, totally renovated it, transformed it, lived in it for a couple of years, sold it. Then I bought 2 apartments and I just kept doing that over and over and just kind of figured out that one, I really enjoyed like designing a space with someone else in mind. I was designing it for like the future person who was going to buy it. Not for
yourself, not your taste, your preferences.
I knew I would live there for a short amount of time and then sell it to someone else. And I did really well doing that. And I built up a little bit of equity. And always when we got together, we figured out that we had this passion for historical architecture and just the brownstone community in Brooklyn.
And it was on that third date because we took a bike ride all
You talked about buying a home on a third date?
Well, kind of,
oh
sort
my God.
of.
I love this lesbianism.
It's
like really real.
Switched to lesbianism real fast. But we took a bike ride. It was like a 3-hour bike ride throughout Brooklyn. And we learned about each other's childhood. And we shared the passion that we both watched Sesame Street as children. And we always dreamed of living in a brownstone because of Sesame Street and the community.
Which is adorable.
And that was always the goal for both of us to buy a brownstone. And Barry was like, where are you at in your buying? And I had learned about all of his closings and buyings. And I was blown away because all along I had been saving in hopes to buy my first small
and
apartment.
he's on like number 7.
It's on number 7, blown away. And he proposed that we put our money in together.
He didn't propose to you.
No, he didn't propose to me.
He proposed a joint brownstone venture.
Yeah, like maybe we should put both of our savings in together.
And be able to buy something.
And buy something large. And I think this came up on the 5th or 6th date. It wasn't on the 4th.
Wow.
But shortly after that. So
5th or 6th date, let's talk about real estate.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then like really fast after we had been looking for a house.
I move really quickly with stuff like that. Like when I decide to do something, I'm like, okay, let's do it right now.
Yeah.
So I don't think Jordan expected that.
No.
I thought
he thought like it's in like a year or two.
I was like, this will happen in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
And
it happened in like a few months.
Shopping tomorrow for house.
So you were boyfriends for a few months before you bought a brownstone together.
Yeah.
Did you live together first?
No, actually.
Oh my gosh. So you had no idea like if he was messy or clean or organized or unorganized, did dishes, left them in a pile, like nothing.
Nothing.
You took a big leap of faith.
Huge. But the more I got to know him, I was like, he checked all my boxes.
Yeah.
He did put his dishes away. He folded his laundry. I was like, okay, good. But I mean, just us buying our historic brownstone. I remember we closed in October.
October 2018 is when we closed.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think, yeah.
That's monumentous.
It was.
So you were like, I have a boyfriend, and we bought a brownstone.
Yes. And then we realized how much work was needed to this brownstone.
Did you always know that you would renovate it yourself, or did you think originally you'd hire someone? Like, what were you thinking in terms of
Yeah, we knew we would do most of it ourselves and just bring in someone as we needed, which is what we ended up doing. So we designed everything ourselves, but we had to have an architect to do the plans and the filings. And then we brought in a contractor to do some of the work. We did some of the work. Some of the things we just like hired people to work alongside of us, which is how we learned a lot about what we do now. But we definitely wanted a house that we could do like that kind of fun restoration work that we love doing now, and restoring the woodwork and kind of making it like bringing it back to its original beauty a little bit. Yeah. So that's what when we found, we actually made one offer before we got our house.
Oh, so this wasn't the first.
Yeah, we made one offer, didn't get a house, didn't get it, and I think maybe a month later
I'm so glad we didn't get that looking back at it now.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny how it works? But at the moment, that was your house.
That was the dream.
And you're devastated.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't work out, but now all these years later, it's for the better.
Planning a big event? Whether it's your wedding day, prom, or another unforgettable milestone, Friar Tuck's has been styling people for life's most important moments for over 50 years. With their newly revamped website, you can buy or rent a sleek suit or timeless tuxedo. Plus, they've just launched a fresh women's suit line and new styles in trending colors. And don't miss out on the Michael Kors Performance Collection, designed to keep you looking sharp and feeling comfortable. Friar Tuck's is a family-owned business, and with over 10,000 five-star reviews, they're proud to be a part of your most important moments. Ready to style your next event? Visit friartux.com to build your head-to-toe look or schedule a virtual appointment with an expert stylist. Plus, you can also stop by one of their stores in Southern California or Las Vegas, Nevada. Whether you're renting or buying, Friar Tuck's has the perfect fit for everyone, from standard to big and tall sizes. Friar Tuck's, styling life's most important moments. Check them out today at friartux.com.
Did you have any idea then, because you started doing Instagram, Reno Instagram at that time, that like it would blow up and be what it is today for you?
No, I didn't. I mean, I had been running Ample Hills and fake social media.
Yeah.
And at the time, social media wasn't the thing, but we learned so much about renovating our home through other accounts. And then I started following all these accounts and I was like, oh, we could do this. This might be cute. So I proposed. I was like, hey, Barry, let's call ourselves the Brownstone Boys and just talk about this. And immediately after that first Instagram post, which was us stereotypical holding up the keys in front of our house, Brownstoner reached out to us, which is a popular real estate, for those that don't know, popular real estate website here in New York. And they had asked if we could syndicate our blog to their blog.
Wow.
So
like post number one.
Post number one,
yeah.
Wow. So anyone who's unsure about starting on social media,
do it.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
Literally, you never know.
You never know.
So they reached out and then you started the Brownstone Boys blog.
The blog.
Okay.
And it was about us closing on the house,
Yep.
our very small renovation budget, how we had to tackle all of this
Yep.
work, and the challenges that were ahead of us.
Sure.
And that blog turned into us writing for the Brownstoner, I think
for like 2 years, we wrote a blog post a week.
Wow.
And then I think we kind of like went down on maybe like once every other week or so
Sure,
when we got
'cause you
really
were
busy.
busy doing other things.
Yeah, and our community, we always just call it our renovation community, that just kept growing and growing, and so people would reach out to us. We were just talking about what we're doing in our own house and challenges we had and problems we were solving, and eventually people started reaching out and asking questions, asking for referrals for things, and we were just giving information to people as we could. And really enjoy doing it. Sometimes we had questions that we'd put out to the group.
And they'd let you know. Yeah.
They would let us know. And we started hearing from people where they just really needed help with their projects. We got a lot of emails where the subject was "please help." We would get like once a week. We get someone that would literally the subject would be
in Brooklyn or just anywhere in the
mostly
country?
In Brooklyn.
Okay.
I think because of Brownstoner,
you had a local reach.
we had a very local following at that time, which we still do, but even at that time especially. So we responded to someone who had a subject of "please help" probably 2 years in. And our house, we were wrapping up our house at that time.
Okay, so it took 2 years.
Yeah.
A little over a year, probably.
And you still loved each other.
We still loved each other.
And you lived
we learned a lot about each other.
Renovation?
We lived, I moved in like maybe 3 months after the renovation started.
Okay.
Because I had an apartment in Prospect Heights.
Yeah.
And then we moved into the garden apartment while both of us worked on the top floors of the house.
So you lived, renovated, renovated, and kept your jobs.
And kept our jobs.
And your sanity.
And our
sanity.
your
love for
That's
each other.
questionable.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 years in, you're almost done. And then was that your first inquiry for like a professional job?
So yeah, we had coffee with this couple that reached out to us. They really wanted us to help them. They were lost. They bought a house. It was a total wreck.
Yeah.
I mean, doors kicked in. It was just looked like
a gut renovation.
Total gut renovation. And they didn't know what to do. They were reaching out to architects and contractors. They weren't hearing back. They didn't know where else to turn.
Sure.
So we had coffee with them and really fell in love with them and told them we've never done this for someone else.
Okay, so you were honest, which is great.
Very honest,
Yeah, so very honest with them. So I was like, we'll be figuring it out together. We'll be with you guys, but we're kind of all in the same boat.
And we're in it.
We're in it, yeah. But we do have some resources at this point. Like we have contractors, we have architects, we have wood restoration people.
And you've learned a lot in 2 years.
We've
what
learned
to
a lot.
do, what not to do, what to do more efficiently.
Yes.
What to spend money on, what not to
Yes.
spend money on.
So that was our first project. And then we kicked off that project, learned a lot.
So much.
Very quickly took on a second project because
Wow.
I think we started talking on our Instagram about the fact that we had a new
new
project,
project.
and
Yeah,
that we were working for a client. And then someone else reached out
Yep.
and was like, we need that too. And then a third one. And I think around the third client
when we quit our
when
full-time jobs.
Yeah, we were like, I
Wow.
guess, should we do this? Should we not do this?
Wow, like literally at the same time.
Yeah.
You wrote letters and said, we're done.
Yeah.
Within about a month, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then right after that month, that's when COVID happened.
Yeah.
So that's when we were
So
like,
you were like,
what are we
great.
doing?
We had steady paychecks, healthcare, and now COVID.
Nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it. And people weren't buying homes or renovating? or
So
it was just a
interestingly
different...
enough, we got a lot of inquiries. A lot of Manhattanites were considering moving to Brooklyn because
For
there's
more
more
space?
space.
Okay.
Yeah, so backyards.
Yeah.
And a lot of people we felt, even though we weren't that familiar with the market before,
Yeah.
a lot of people were inquiring about townhouses
Got
in
it.
Brooklyn.
Okay. So that sort of
we remained
was
really
a boom
busy.
for you.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
And then who proposed to who?
Oh.
So fast forward 5 years.
Yeah.
I know we were
5
together.
years from the first date.
For the first date.
I love this. There's like no rhyme or reason or order, and that's great. But like
Yeah.
you went on 5 dates, you bought a house together, and 5 years
No,
later,
I mean, it was
launched
longer
a
than 5
business.
years. It was, I think we were 7.5 years.
7 years. Yeah.
When the proposal happened?
When the
proposal
proposal
happened,
happened.
maybe 7.
And we had been at the same time working with like 27 clients.
Oh
we had so
my
So
many
we've just
clients.
been like work.
gosh, your heads were down. You
Yeah.
were
I mean,
focused.
and at this point, we owned our house together.
Yep.
We went through a major renovation together.
You
we
were in it.
traveled all over the world together.
Started a
We
business
started a business
with
that-
employees.
We have several employees. We've been on TV. We've
Yep.
written a book. Like we did a lot of things together
yeah.
at that point.
You're in it, and
We
you
just-
know that.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Okay, so then marriage wasn't the goal for either of you initially, or really even like long term.
I think more so me than Barry. But
Wasn't or
I
was?
It was.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you wanted it.
I
You were
wanted
like,
it.
we're living it.
Yeah.
And early on in our relationship, I think Jordan had been divorced recently.
Yeah.
And wasn't interested in getting married right away.
Sure.
And I also was just like not, being from a religious family, I had like a different connotation of marriage,
Yep.
really. So it took a long time for me
untangle
to
that.
untangle that. Yeah. So in the first half of our relationship, I don't think either one of us was really looking for that
Yeah.
right away. Jordan probably, I'm sure, got there quicker than I did, but and then we just had a conversation. I mean, we kind of started talking about it a little bit here and there, but I remember we went to Puerto Rico on a very spur of the moment, like literally from the airport. We went to the
Okay.
airport. We thought we were going somewhere else. That
Wait,
did not
what?
work out. They wouldn't let us on the
Passport
plane.
issue.
Okay.
And we decided in the airport to go to Puerto Rico.
Like we need a break.
We need to go somewhere in the United States of
Sure.
America. And so maybe that spontaneity of that moment that we decided we like literally went through security without a hotel booked yet.
On this side or on the other side?
On this side.
Okay.
On this
Oh
side.
my gosh.
And then we ended up having like a really great time, like wandering around Old San Juan, and it was
It's
just
beautiful.
really loved it. Like we enjoyed it, and we had no expectations because we didn't even know we were going there
Yeah.
until the morning of.
There was a beautiful wedding taking place in Old San Juan that
Okay.
I think that might have inspired
One of you,
something-
both of you?
I think both of us.
Okay.
We both felt the vibes there, and we were
Okay.
like, you know what? I think it might be time.
This is year 7.
This is year
We're
7.
in year
Okay.
7, yes.
And he said it, which shocked me. I didn't even say it because usually I'm the one
Did
that's
you
like,
want
oh.
to bring, were you like respecting his desire
Yes.
to not rush but you were ready?
At the time, and I knew the struggle and also how much he has overcome.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to push that on
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
So I held that in the highest respect.
You
I
weren't
still
like-
do to this day.
Talking into his phone, like engagement ring, wedding planner, engagement ring.
In the notes section.
Yeah. On the desktop, just accidentally leaving wedding venues
Yeah.
open.
No, I didn't do that.
Okay, you were
I was
very
tempted
respectful.
sometimes.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you were ready.
Yeah, I was
And
ready.
so then who did you propose to each other in
So we
Puerto Rico?
decided in this restaurant we were sitting in Old San Juan that we would get married. But
you had like a business conversation?
No, it was a nice conversation, but we decided we were going to ask one another. We were still going to both ask one another equally when the time was right.
Okay.
And so I asked Jordan first on what we celebrated as our anniversary, which was the April 4th, which is the date you will see on that Grindr message.
Yes.
That was April 4th. So
Got
that's
it.
what
The
we
first
always...
message is
the
your
first
anniversary.
message is the
Thanks,
anniversary.
We do that too. I love that. Yeah.
Nice. So on that day, it was a Tuesday. It was April. It was like the first really beautiful day of the year. It was gorgeous outside. And we have a close group of friends. There's 2 other couples that we're really close friends with. One's a lesbian couple, one's a straight couple.
Thank God.
The UN. And we are, we're on a text thread together. We're always chatting. And I orchestrated with them offline without Jordan on the text that we would just hang out on our stoop, our stoop became a very important place for us.
Okay.
Because it's where we like literally lived during COVID.
Yep.
Because we could sit there with our glass of wine or our coffee. We could talk to our neighbors.
Yep.
We would have friends come over and sit at the bottom of the stoop.
6 feet away.
I celebrated my 40th birthday on the stoop with our friends at the bottom. I mean, it became a very special place to us. Also, our business is wrapped up in our house and the fact that it's a brownstone and all of that stuff.
All of it.
So,
very sentimental.
Very important place to us where we spend a lot of time. And so I thought I would do my proposal on our stoop with our friends that we spent all that time with. And so surprised Jordan. It was a Tuesday night. It was a busy work day. I had one of our friends text on our text thread and say, hey, it's gorgeous. It's a first beautiful day of spring. Let's hang out on your stoop and have a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And then I had someone else chime in and say, oh, that sounds great. We want to come too.
I love this.
And so I didn't even plan it.
I had no idea. It was such a bad work day and I was in such a mood, Joe.
Horrible mood.
So you arrived and and you know what? That's how it goes.
I loved it because I knew he had no idea.
Yeah.
Because
and he was in a mood.
I had to make him close his laptop. I'm like, everyone's here. Like, come on, close your laptop. Let's go.
He's like, I'll get there eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
And also had his sister on I had one of our friends have his sister on FaceTime.
Oh, so sweet.
So it was cute. And
Did you like get down on a knee or you were seated on the stoop?
We didn't do any knees. No knees.
Okay.
Like we trying to avoid some of the very traditional,
heteronormative.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yep. So we're just sitting on the stoop. We didn't have any rings or anything at that point.
Okay.
So I asked them, and it was cute, and it was on video and FaceTime with his sister.
It was very sweet.
Yeah. That's very sweet.
And I asked him complete opposite way, but we went ring shopping. We found our rings at.
So he asked you, and then you went ring shopping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we went ring shopping.
And you went ring.
We found rings we fell in love with, made by a local artist in New York at Catbird.
I love Catbird.
So good.
And they've expanded. They've done really well.
Yeah, but the rings are gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I got the email notification when they were ready for pickup. And at this time, House Beautiful
I had no idea.
Yeah, House Beautiful had reached out to us asking if we wanted to be part of their series. I forget the name of the series, but
it's a series about like couples that renovate together.
Cute.
And they ask questions to gauge like each style. Yeah.
It's like where you hold up the chalkboard and they ask
yes
you a question.
No,
yes or no. Yes.
Cute.
So I wrote them back and I was like, this sounds amazing, sign us up. But at the end of the series,
can I ask
Barry if, and then the whole
of
entire
course,
team,
they ate it up.
They ate it up. The entire team got involved, which we're so grateful because they really blew us out of what they do. They have like bottles of champagne.
They were all
for
waiting
us.
to come in the room that we were filming this piece in. It was crazy. I was like, what is going on?
And you're like, wow, this is big production for like ask a couple how to renovate.
Yeah, and I had the physical ring with me. So at the end of that, when he asked, and he fortunately said yes.
Were you were totally caught off guard?
Yeah, totally surprised. Had no idea.
And how many months from April was this?
Probably a couple months.
Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah. Got it. Okay, that's the best story ever. Like literally, like so smart of you to think of that.
It was really sweet.
And then from there, so you're fully proposed in like summer of what year? Now are we in?
Hold on. We should have written all this down.
Yeah.
That must have been 23.
Yeah, 23.
Summer of 23. Okay, so last summer.
Last summer.
And you just had your wedding.
We just had our wedding,
it was
October
so
5th, 20.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Jove. That
like
means so much coming from you.
literally, I've never seen a wedding like it. So I want to dive in. You basically closed your street
Yes.
where your brownstone is
Yeah.
and had like a street party.
Yeah.
Tell me
party.
everything. A block party.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a block party wedding.
Yeah.
So during COVID, our block applied through the city to become a green street, which means that through certain rules in the permitting, they can close off the street at any time as long as they have monitors on the street.
Wow.
And our block has kept renewing it year after year.
Okay.
So in the back of our mind, and we're a very active block.
Yeah.
We are friends with
Like
everyone.
you all know each other.
We all know each
I love
other. We all do Stoop socials monthly,
Okay.
where we all have different activities and different events.
And you host the neighbors.
The
That's
different
so cute.
neighbors host. We're very fortunate that we live on such a special block like Sesame Street.
Yeah, literally. Your dreams are coming true.
Literally. So that kind of in our head mingled. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, what if we get our block involved in this?
Because the permit was the biggest. As a planner, I was like, how did your planner
Yes.
get a permit to close a block in Brooklyn?
Yes.
Beautiful. Already done. Already ready.
Yeah. And then we knew that we wanted to be about like our chosen family,
Yep.
our community. Barry's parents, unfortunately, were not going to be at the wedding. And it was just very important for both of us to make this day about our love
Joy
for our
and
friends
love.
and
Yeah.
family and our chosen family. And that's where the block party comes into play. I mean, we had food vendors, all local.
You got a hot dog cart.
We had a hot
like
dog
the
cart.
iconic hot dog cart.
Literally found this guy in East New York. I saw him serving hot dogs with
Stop.
a cowboy hat
Yep.
on as Barry was driving. I was like, Barry,
Pull
pull
over.
over. Got out of the car, and he was so excited. I think he was the star of our wedding, to be honest.
He was amazing. Like everyone loved him. He
performed.
loved
He
being
performed.
there. He was.
Yeah.
It was great.
Was he in the middle of the street? It felt like he
in the
was
middle
the
of the
star
street. Right in the middle.
of the performance.
in the middle of the street, getting to know everybody.
100%
friends. Yeah.
with his cowboy hat.
with his
the
cowboy
cowboy
hat
hat.
on.
And then you had your ceremony on your stoop, which is so sentimental and beautiful.
With lots of florals.
Yeah, all the way up, all the way
up the stoop.
around.
It's beautiful.
And you came together not from the front door, but from below.
Yeah.
Like, what inspired that choice?
It's a good choice, or that was a good question, because we decided that the garden apartment meant so much for us, because that's where we really got our start as we
for
renovate the top.
2 years, sure.
And that moment was going to be so pivotal for us as we do our vows up there. So we were like, let's have the idea of us walking up the stoop.
Yeah, of you ascending.
Yeah.
We had a singer that came out right before we came out.
Okay.
That sang a David Bowie song, and it was beautiful shit, like a very soulfully. And then she came out the front door, the top of the stoop,
Got
and
it.
we had a little moment at the bottom of the stoop
where you
we
were
like kind of like
listening.
met, and then we went up.
Cute.
Yeah.
And throughout the day, I mean, we had everything that just meant so much to us. Like Barry's from New Orleans originally, so we had a drum line come down the street.
I saw that and I was wondering why, but you're from there, so it's a second line. Is that
Mm-hmm.
what? Okay, amazing. And drag queens?
Drag queen. We had a full drag show. So
Okay.
they did like a 30-minute performance.
Wow.
Hosted by Essa Noche. Shout out to Essa, because
Okay.
the girl deserves everything. She's
Slayed.
incredible. And then she brought two queens with her, Venus Mystique and Lana Del Rey, who just was announced on Drag Race.
Lana Del Rey? Oh my gosh.
Drag Race season 17.
We know who
So-
we're going to be rooting for.
Exactly.
We got you, Lana.
And the show was amazing. I mean, you should see the photos of the faces in the audience.
Yeah.
Some of them not exposed to the everyday drag
I'm
queen.
sure.
And
on
we
the
kept
street
all
in
of the
Brooklyn.
entertainment was a surprise.
So
for
nobody
everyone.
knew?
Nobody knew.
Almost no one knew. Maybe a couple of close friends, but they didn't know about the brass band, which we actually had as soon as we kissed. We had it start.
Okay.
So that was a surprise.
But where did you go? Like, I guess production mind. Like, you have a house, so vendors, green rooms were all in the house.
No, they were all in the street ready. So as people were coming to the
Oh, wow.
ceremony, they were
Like,
like,
everything
what
was
is-
there. It was
all
everything
set
was
up,
all
yeah.
there.
Almost everyone was like discovering everything at the same
The
time.
drum line was on the next block over, hiding.
Got it.
The drag queens were in our house hiding,
Okay.
ready for the show.
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
And how many people did you invite?
We invited, I think our guest list got up to 220.
Whoa. That's big.
And we were actually worried that we were going to have too many on the block.
Yeah.
Because we also were trying to, all of our neighbors were invited.
Sure, you
They
can't
all came
not
out. They
invite
were
them.
amazing. But we also didn't want to like overwhelm the block with
Yeah.
like something that was too big.
Sure.
And we could have had more. Like 200, like the block handled 220
It's a big block. It's a
people
big
pretty
event
well.
space.
Yeah.
So you had, and 220 people invited. Did strangers
Yeah.
So many
walk by?
strangers.
I mean, it's literally, if I was
It's a
walking
public
around in
street.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We closed the block to traffic, but we didn't close it. We didn't close it to
Public.
anyone walking by. So people were walking their dogs through
Saying
and
congratulations.
And now as we like go and get a coffee, people come up to us all the time and they're like, I have to admit, I crashed your wedding and it was the best party
my
I've ever been to
gosh.
in my life. So,
I mean, it looked the joy alone in every photo, and you had a hat station. Is that? I assume your love of. I've never not seen you in a hat.
I know.
Is
I didn't wear one for the actual vows.
Oh, that's true. Oh, wait, I have to go back and look. I
Yeah,
didn't see
go
that.
back
But
and
I
look.
believe you, obviously.
Yeah, but hats. I always wear a hat. So we had a hat station, custom embroidery on there,
Yep.
stitching. That was really special.
It was a hit too. People really loved the hats.
They could pick whatever they wanted
They
to
could
say.
pick whatever they
oh,
wanted to
that's
say.
fun.
Yeah.
Did you have like pre-prepped ones, or
We
people
had
could
like, I
do
think,
whatever?
150 prepped with spread love.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Brooklyn way.
Yeah.
Oh my! This is just like too adorable.
Yeah, it was cute.
And what were you gonna do again? My planner hat. If it rained. Like you can't have a rain plan
We
for
did a whole
block.
lot of crossing our fingers and praying to the drag gods because we had a plan, but it really wasn't. It was very much a plan B, and our plan was we were going to move forward. If it was going to drizzle, if there was a little bit of rain in the
Depending on
forecast,
how rainy.
exactly. Like we were going to get cute umbrellas for people. Like we were really avoiding exercising the rain plan because what that was we had a dinner the night before for people that came in town, close friends and family.
Like a rehearsal dinner.
Kind of like a rehearsal dinner. So it was like 30 people.
Okay.
And since there were several people coming in town, we were like, we have to do the wedding. We can't push the wedding to the next weekend because we
they're
can't
here.
expect people to come back.
Yeah.
So we were going to have the wedding at that dinner, the actual ceremony at that dinner.
Okay.
And then we were going to push the block party to the following week. So it would just been a party at that point.
So then if the close people that traveled would get the ceremony, and then everyone else who lives nearby, hopefully you're available next week.
Right.
Yeah.
But you didn't have to do it.
We did not have to do it. We checked the weather, religiously. And it's
I'm
actually
sure.
the one thing I learned if we were to do this again is to stop looking at the weather apps.
Did you download like 5 of them?
all of them?
It's psychotic, and none of them are accurate.
None of them are.
The 3 of them you look at in the same location have different weathers.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Rain was in the forecast up until I think the night before, and then the sun was just like full out, 80
It was
degrees.
October?
October 5th. It was wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I wondered why like nobody had jackets. Like it looked
It was beautiful.
perfect.
Yeah, it was.
This is so amazing.
Yeah.
Literally, like, who would have thought when we met all those years ago
know.
at the cake shop that we'd be sitting here? And you also are authors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've been on TV, the Magnolia Network.
Yeah.
Did they run? Was the show in the renovation of your home or a project you were working on?
One of our projects. Yeah. So they documented, we did a carriage house restoration.
From start to finish.
From start to finish. And they followed that for about a year.
Oh my gosh! And then how did the book happen? Did you want to write a book? Were you approached to write a book?
Yeah.
We had no idea we'd ever write a book. I mean, of all the things that we have done up until that point, it wasn't really on our radar.
Okay.
But a book agent reached out to us, also from Jordan's past, from the Bake Days.
What?
Yeah.
The same one that did the book
the
for
same one
Baked?
that did all 3 cookbooks for Baked.
So I guess she was
I
following us for a
mean,
while,
come
and she was
on.
like, "Guys, why haven't you written a book?" So we had coffee with her, and we thought she was crazy at fird because why would want us to write a book?
Sure.
But we just couldn't get it out of our heads after
Yeah.
we met with her. We're like, "This is cool." Like,
And the universe literally dropped it
Yeah.
on your lap.
Yeah.
I mean, you've earned it. Obviously, you've done
Yeah.
the
I
work.
I mean, we had
You've
to write a
shown.
proposal for
Yes.
So what she helped us do was write the proposal, and then she took the proposal
And
we
pitched
wrote
it.
and pitched it to publishers.
Yeah.
And we, it could have gone nowhere. We could have heard crickets, but we actually got
A
5
few
offers.
Of course you did.
So we were like shocked. And when we had conversations with them, we thought the questions were going to be like, "Who do you think you are
Yeah.
trying to write a book? Like,
Yeah.
how are
Yeah,
you going to
yeah,
do
yeah.
this?" And it was the opposite. It was
They were,
like
like,
them
fighting
trying
for
to
you.
sell us. We were like, "This is crazy."
It was cool.
So it took a year and a half or so
Okay.
to write the book and do the artwork
Yep.
and all that stuff. Really enjoyed the process. We actually wrote it ourselves.
Yep.
It's called For the Love of Renovating, and it just kind of follows the process of renovating a house from beginning to end, even buying the fixer-upper in the
So
beginning.
even like all the email questions you got from the very beginning and all
Yes.
your own questions. So like don't DM you, instead just buy the book.
Just buy the book.
Just buy.
Or DM us. That's fine.
I mean,
DM us too.
I know. You can DM them, but like it's all in the book. So it's
Yeah.
like literally a how-to guide for
Yes.
anyone.
Yeah, and we wrote it basically the process we go through with our clients.
Sure.
They usually come to us in the very beginning,
Yeah.
early stages of their process, and we help them through the whole
Every
thing,
step of it.
from the very beginning to moving in and setting up your furniture.
I love it. This is so exciting. I mean, literally you got married, you wrote a book, like
It was a great year.
the world is yours.
Weddings-ish is presented by Lovebird. Recently engaged? Share your proposal story on lovebird.com, where engaged couples can manage every communication with their wedding guests with elegance, grace, and ease. Lovebird will select couples with the best proposal stories for a chance to win a free honeymoon. Bonus, featured couples will also unlock free access to lovebird.com, where they can create a premium wedding website, send elegant digital stationery, collect RSVPs, share day of announcements, and make an exquisite first impression for their wedding day. Terms and conditions apply. Lovebird, elegant wedding guest communication, simplified. Share your proposal story at lovebird.com/weddingsish. That's lovebird.com/weddingsish.
And for social media, you also exploded seemingly overnight. Like, I went back and some of the first posts, like all of us, weren't getting a lot of views.
With those keys.
Yeah, the keys, and then the fast forward, you guys taking down or building the cabinets, like all the things. But then more recent posts, like millions of views, like a lot of viral moments for people trying to start a business or wanting to make it on social media. Like, do you have any secrets or any advice for them, or how do you think that jump happened?
I would say just keep going and don't, social media is a wild thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can be your worst critic.
Yep.
And just don't let that get in your way and just keep going. Because there's been times where I've told Barry, I was like, let's just stop it.
Yeah.
But then we'll get that one really great message or the one person that we know that we're inspiring that just keeps us going. So just continue to keep doing something
Just
that
make the
you're
post,
passionate about.
make the content.
Yeah.
And it works because you all are blowing up there. We have
love
some
what we do,
questions
so.
from social media. House of Huck said, I feel
Meredith.
I feel like Barry and Jordan, but I know Barry, so I'll say him, never talk about their past life. The fact that 5 years ago Barry was working in corporate software sales is bonkers to me. Would love to hear how they both made the transition to design full-time. We talked about it a little bit, but not, I guess, House of Huck wants the details.
Love Meredith, and we worked together. Her and I had the same sales job for a software company, and she is also an interior designer now. She failed to mention there. She followed.
Oh, so she made the leap
maybe
also.
a year after me, couple years after me.
Very cool.
She's great. So yeah, I mean, it was a slow process, but I always wanted to kind of do my own thing
Be
and
your own boss.
be my own boss.
And you went to business school also. We don't want to
totally. And
denote the MBA over there.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was always, I guess, a goal of mine. I never knew exactly what I would do or how I would. I always loved architecture and design and wanted to be an architect too. So found my way kind of back to that life, which is great. But I guess it's just, we knew we had something early on when we started developing an audience and having people reach out to us. We didn't know exactly where we would go with it, but we sort of organically let things go where they went, and we took opportunities when we saw them. We weren't afraid to take some risks.
You have to.
And
I think people are afraid of that, but you have to take a risk.
You have to take a risk.
Otherwise, you don't know what's on the other side.
And we're really lucky that there are two of us. So we help each other out and we kind of balance each other's strengths.
Do you have different skill sets in terms of do you do the social?
Yes, I do most of the creative side of our business is me, and then Barry's very much the construction management side of our business.
Which works really well because if you were both creative or both business, you might
be butting heads all the time.
All the time.
Get me away.
100%. All right, I have another question from Megan Farrell. Fun, how did their interior design style influence the way they wanted their wedding to look?
Ooh, I love that. So I, over the years, am very proud that I got Barry into color. So now we wanted this wedding to be the most colorful, and I think
it was very colorful.
It was very
Were
colorful.
you a neutral girly before? Black and white,
100%.
beige and white?
Love me some gray. Like paint a wall dark gray.
Okay.
And it's the coolest thing you can do.
Not for me, not for you.
Yeah,
but okay.
I've definitely evolved a lot since then. But yeah, that was my
your
life.
MO.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people in interiors go for neutral. They think it's safe, or
It's
they
a
think
thing.
it's...
I mean, we know designers who only use shades of white and cream
and leather and white marble, and that's it. Like, and it's fine.
Yeah.
But this was not your wedding. So back to the question. Tell me.
And another really fun thing that we did with our friends that Barry mentioned that were on our stoop for his proposal was we sat down and we created a mood board of how we wanted the day to look.
Okay.
And we threw in the words like Met Gala comes to the Brooklyn block party. And what does that mean?
Yes.
And then we all put in our images.
Yep.
And then that was kind of the inspiration that we sent to
Oh, so like
all of our
everyone got to
guests.
put in. Oh, that's fun. Like literally communal, back to
Exactly.
the theme of that.
And the looks were like looking at the wedding, which was what we wanted. We wanted everybody to vibe and have
To
their
show
own...
up and show out.
Yeah.
This is so like, I've never seen a wedding like it. And if anyone's trying to do that at home, I guess it's similar to a home wedding, a backyard wedding.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for those couples?
The one thing I would say it was a lot of work, and we actually thought, we wanted to do something that was unconventional from the beginning. Yeah. Like from even our proposals,
Your whole relationship has been unconventional. I hate that word because people should do what they want to do.
Exactly.
But like all of it has been. So it makes sense that you would do that.
Right. Yeah. But, so we wanted it to be that way. And we also wanted something that really reflected us. So when we thought about having a wedding at a venue, and especially in New York City, like the venues that we would have chosen were just going to be buildings, like like literal places that meant nothing to us at all. Whereas we had this thing that could mean so much to us,
and has meant so much,
and has meant to us, and was so us that we had to jump on it. But it was a lot of work because if you go to a venue, everything is there.
Yes,
you don't have to worry about the neighbors and the food vendors. We had to get food permits,
Where are
sound
people going to
permits.
use the bathroom?
Where people use the
Where
bathroom?
did they use your house?
Well, we got some colorful porta potties. that were beautiful.
Wow, those were not in the New York Times article.
The porta potties didn't make it.
They were purple.
Darn it. I mean, they were cute. Okay. But the logistics of it all.
The logistics, it was a lot of work. It was worth it for us.
Yeah.
But it definitely came with a lot more phone calls with our wedding planner.
Yep.
A lot more. We had to do calls with our neighbors and meetings with them.
Did you give everyone a gift on the street to be like, don't be mad at us if we're partying late?
No. We invited them and said there's lots of free food and drinks and everything. Have fun. Invite your family, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, just like come by.
Yeah.
But if you have that many people, how do you plan for that? If you invited their friends and their family, that's a lot of hot dogs. You had other food outside of hot dogs.
We had other food. Yeah, we had other food trucks. There was a pizza truck, fried chicken,
French
and one of our
fries.
neighbors grilled an entire buffet of food as well too.
Did you know that, or that was like
we did know
okay?
That. Yeah.
Wow.
His
We
claim
bought all the
is-
food.
Yeah, but still, like it's the true spirit of a block party is that. You know what I mean? Like everyone bringing. Did you get your cake from Baked?
I did not get a
did
cake from
not.
Baked, which I regret. That's another regret from this wedding.
Really?
We went without any dessert. We did a like dessert bar with like some
ice cream
cookies and
truck.
brownies.
You're not into cake or the idea of cake cutting, or you just don't like. You're not
It was
sweet
the
tooth?
whole logistic thing that I
Okay.
just in my head I didn't want to deal with.
One less thing on your plate.
I do
That
regret
makes
it though.
sense.
It is a regret.
And we felt like an ice cream truck was more block party than stopping
the
everything.
softie, the
from-
Mr. Softy. Yeah.
I mean, with sprinkles, it's like the best.
Yeah.
All right, I have a few more questions before we wrap up. First question is, what 3 words would your best friend use to describe you? I'll start with you.
Jordan, help me.
No, you.
Or we could do it. You want to describe your husband, 3 words, but that we could also play it that way. You pick 3 words for
I
him
would
and
say
vice versa.
business savvy, humorous, and sincere.
Okay.
There you go. For Jordan, I would say authentic, lovable, and popular.
Oh.
Jordan knows everybody everywhere we go.
Okay.
It is crazy. We walk down the street and he'll run into 3 people he knows in a row.
Well, he has such an infectious spirit, and now all I'm singing is Wicked in my head, thinking about you.
Yeah.
On that line of thought, how do you stay positive on a hard day?
Ooh, that's a great question. And I'm imagining wedding planning is very similar to the line of work that we do, renovating.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I wanted our wedding specifically to be enjoyable for both of us. And I think it's us taking breaks. And I mean, like us doing our own thing, whatever that means, is if it's a 5-minute walk, us to each take a 5-minute walk. Or if we need a whole day, like let's do that. But communication and like I really tried to overly communicate with Barry, like I need a day. I
Yeah.
need like 5
And
minutes
being
to
honest about it.
Yeah, because there were ups and downs throughout the wedding planning process and also in our business.
Yeah.
But it's just about communicating at least how I feel to him and him understanding that sometimes I just need to shut it off.
Yeah.
And
You need to walk away.
I need to walk away.
Take a little moment.
Take a moment.
And how about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think the same. We both need our own time.
Yep.
And I know we've actually, it's just something that is sort of what we want to do and not something that we have done, but we also spend a lot of time together. So we work together, you know, we feel like we're running two businesses with design and renovation and also our book and PR and brand stuff that we do.
Well, and social media is, it's a whole job.
It's a full-time job.
Literally, like you're covering the content of the work you're doing, but you're still thinking about how you're filming it, how you're editing it, the voiceover, you have 3 jobs. I mean, you've got a lot going on.
Yeah. And our friend groups have now melded pretty well together. So we don't really have separate friends anymore.
One pod.
We have one pod. So if he's going to dinner with people who were his friends, they're very much so my friends too, and vice versa. And so we decided that we need to have some hobbies that we can do on our own. So we haven't decided what those are going to be exactly yet.
I'm dying
am I going to do yoga? Am I taking up ceramics? I don't know yet, but we're going to figure it out.
I feel like you're me a couple of years ago when I was like, my whole identity is my career. I need a hobby.
Yeah.
And I was talking to friends who don't run their own business. They work for a company and they're like, this is the stupidest conversation. Like, you don't have a hobby. I'm like, I don't have a hobby. I just work all the time because when you run a business, there's always something to do.
If there's any spare time, I mean, there's always some other, I mean, I can do some like accounting. There's
100%.
always something to do.
I did try ceramics. It is fun because you don't have your phone. Although I feel like you're more on the phone with the social stuff. But like you can't, no phone, no computer. It's you and a wheel. It's a lot harder than it looks.
I can imagine.
You would like that.
But I know a good studio, I can tell you. But
nice.
Okay, so hobbies. I think that's good.
I have a question for you, Joe.
Oh my gosh, flipping the mic.
With your wedding planning right now, which by the way, I'm hooked and I cannot wait to see what you do.
Oh my gosh,
Congratulations.
I know. Me too. I can't wait to see what we do.
But are you allowing yourself a planner and are you going to separate or are you wanting the full control of everything?
Yeah, I'm a control freak. I'll admit it for sure. OCD, I need to be in charge. So I'm doing all the planning and design. But I am bringing someone on to produce so that I can actually relax. I think I'm still probably going to walk downstairs, look at the venue, make sure it's all... I want to relax, but I know that I need to at least check in.
Yeah.
So yes, I brought in a really amazing friend who's a phenomenal planner that I trust.
Great.
And I will really, relinquish everything to her 30 days before.
Amazing.
Which is coming up sooner than I'm ready for. It's really weird to be on this side of the wedding planning process, but I'm trying to enjoy it as much as possible.
Yeah.
Take off the work hat and put on the getting married hat.
Good.
Nice.
Good
but
for
we'll
you.
see. I'll keep you posted. Okay, my last question. What's your favorite meal, breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Ooh. I'm a pizza guy through and through.
Okay.
Or a burrito guy.
Okay, pizza, burrito.
So Mexican or pizza are my 2 go-tos.
Okay.
Lunch or dinner.
Well, if it's between breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I will say dinner.
Okay.
Because I like to have a cocktail.
Yes.
So my favorite thing about going out to dinner is the drink we get before.
Is the drink before. Okay, what's your favorite cocktail?
A martini.
Okay.
Gin martini, slightly dirty with olives.
Okay, classic martini. This has been so much fun.
So fun.
I'm so happy to have you here. Where can people find you and follow the journey if they're not already? But you should be.
Yes, you should be. So all of our socials are at the Brownstone Boys.
Okay.
At Brownstone Boys.
At Brownstone Boys. Oh my gosh, I'm
Gosh,
giving
this is
our
your
wrong
job.
information.
Okay, take 2. Where can people find
at
you?
Brownstone Boys. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and then our website is thebrownstoneboys.com for all of our renovation projects.
Perfect. And where can we buy your book?
Anywhere books are sold, Amazon is always great, or even on our website.
Oh my gosh. Well, congrats again. And I can't wait to keep following and see all the joy and magic you continue to create.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
This was great.
My pleasure.
And now it's time for Ask Jove. And I couldn't be more excited to be in studio with my dear friend Sloan for Ask Jove. What do we have today, Sloan?
Nicole from Boston is wondering, I've been with my boyfriend for 5 wonderful years.
Ooh, I love the word wonderful.
Wonderful. And I've been waiting not so patiently for him to propose.
Oh, she's eager.
She's ready.
Okay.
Should I take the plunge and propose to him instead? What do you think?
I mean, listen. I think if you love someone and you're ready, you should just do it. I'm not into these gender norms that a man should propose to a woman. When Kyle and I got engaged, this is basically our story.
I was going to say, you've lived this,
I've lived through this. I thought I had to propose to Kyle, so I assume she thinks he should propose to her. And he wanted to get engaged in Versailles, which is like a very big, specific request. And how I was going to pull that off, I don't know, right? Without him knowing, and he wanted his family there, and he had a very specific vision. For me, I was very happy with our life. Marriage wasn't the end goal for me. Like we lived together, our families had met, we love each other, we have a life together. So like if we got married, we got married. It was a bigger deal for him, I learned later. He basically was tired of waiting, so he proposed to me after 4 years. And I was totally shocked. Obviously I said yes.
Yeah.
But I think if it is in your heart and you feel like you want to do it, then just do it. And the worst that could happen is you'll get the answer you're dreading, but you'll save years off your life from not knowing, you know? And the best that could happen is he says yes, he's totally surprised, and then maybe he'll counter propose.
Yep.
I'm obsessed with counter proposal. I thought it was really nice that Kyle proposed to me and then I took the opportunity to propose to him. It's so weird that it's one-sided.
Yep.
Like, will you, woman, marry me, man? Like, I don't know. It's 2024. Like, if you love someone, say it out loud. If you want to marry someone, say it. I'm also curious, though, if they've had conversations. Like, you know, when you're with someone for a while, you talk about these things. Where you want to live, career, family. Like, has she casually or subtly brought up that weddings or marriage?
It's not so patient here.
I know. I feel like she's been very obvious.
She's probably like, hi, I'm ready.
She's
Let's
probably
go.
like in the phone, like 3-carat diamond engagement ring, 5-carat diamond engagement ring.
Photo.
Serving him ads of diamond rings. So like proposal. I'd say if it's in your gut, you should totally do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Would Jose have been caught off if you proposed to Jose?
I don't
was
think
more
so, but
ready in your relationship?
I'm more of like I don't want to say I'm a bolder woman, but I'm someone who like, if I want it, go for it.
That's true.
So go get it, girl.
So he would have said yes.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, we are married now.
So obviously the love is there. But I'm saying like it feels unconventional, but I think it's exciting. And what a fun story.
Yeah.
That like, and then maybe call his dad and ask for permission or his family and be like, hey, you know, I really want to marry your son. And then they might have
insight that you don't.
100%. Like there could be a reason that he's not asking. But I'd say better to know now.
Or maybe he's like planning it, waiting for that Versailles moment.
Correct.
Right?
And Versailles takes time.
It takes time, Kyle.
And resources and lots of planning. We went to Versailles recently.
I know.
It was wild. But he wanted to show me the place where he wanted to be proposed to.
I was going to say, did you relive the potential proposal?
Versailles is massive. I mean, I knew that, but like massive. It's like 10 Central Parks. And we literally saved the best for last. And then a rain and thunderstorm came, and then the park closed early. And so we never saw the peasant village where he wanted to be proposed. Because I was obviously going to do it again. You know what I mean? I was going to get down on one knee and be like, hey, babe.
Oh, so sweet.
Anyways, I say do it and let us know what happens. And I hope it's the result that you want.
She's going to be calling you next year.
I'm ready, yeah. You can go to our website, jovemeyer.com.
Best of luck, Nicole.
Yes, good luck. Well, that's it for today, and wasn't that fun? Don't forget to send your questions. Again, any questions, send them our way to hi@jovemeyer.com, and maybe I will answer them on air. If you can, send a voice memo. I love to hear your voice. This episode is presented by Friar Tucks. For over 50 years, Friar Tucks has been helping people look their best for life's most important moments. Shop their stylish suits and tuxedos for rent or purchase, and explore their new women's suit line. Visit friartux.com to learn more. Weddings-ish is presented by Lovebird, a better way for engaged couples to communicate with their wedding guests. Make an exquisite first impression and manage every touch point in one place. Share your proposal story on Lovebird for a chance to win a free honeymoon. Learn more at lovebird.com/weddingsish.
Weddings Weddings-ish.
Thank you again for listening or watching Weddings-ish with Jove. If you liked today's episode, please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're also super grateful to Mel Flannery for the music on the podcast. She created, produced, and designed all of the music. And don't forget, you can watch Weddings-ish with Jove on Love Stories TV, YouTube, or streaming TV channel. Visit lovestoriestv.com/live for the list of streaming apps.
Weddings-ish.